So recently I've been talking about a lot of struggles that I've been going through. And like this year has been really topsy-turvy for me. I've had to do a lot of adjusting. I lost my job. I had to move to another state. I lived in my mom's basement for like a month and a half. And at that time I was worried I wasn't going to be able to find a place in a decent neighborhood because of my horrible credit score. I made the mistake of doing a loan consolidation, and at this point I'm still like concerned about them garnishing some 25% of my wages. I don't know if it'll come to that, but it's kind of taking a little bit of time. My other two credit cards have already been settled. They've settled for half of what I owe, and that's what they're trying to do with my other one. So it's just kind of like, man, I'm already like stressed because of capital gains tax next year I have to do, and wondering if like I'm gonna get hit that hard anyway. I pretty much probably just not gonna get any type of return back. I haven't really made that a lot of money this year since I missed like four months of work, basically. So like, I'm not gonna get. I would definitely generate like over 40 grand for sure. Like, especially with this job, I definitely would generate around, probably like 45 grand, maybe more. Who knows? Definitely poverty level. I'm in a poverty level right now. I'm just trying to survive, and but it's been like a lot of stress, and even losing like close friends, that you talk to every day, and it's just like there's been a lot in my life that has went negatively this year. And the big problem in my life is I don't see women. There's no women in my life at all, and it's just like, okay, well, if my life is going to just feel like prison where there's not going to be any women in my life at all, besides like family members, that don't count, then I just go to work and go home. Like, I feel like a prisoner. That's why I was like, okay, then I'm just gonna. And some other circumstances where it's like I'm trying to, like, I feel like I'm being held back, but the stresses of like the cost of everything, seriously, it's really expensive out here. I'm trying to maintain my assets, and it's just like there's a lot, and trying, it's like getting back into dating and shit. It's like, it's dating is hard nowadays. It's like you see somebody you might like, and then I start sharing my social media, and they're like, oh, you're a Trump, you like Trump, see ya. You know what I mean? It's like so many women are like leftists, and they buy into the propaganda, the left-wing propaganda, because like they're very they can be influenced very easily, whether they want to admit it or not. They're followers, because like these women nowadays that are shaving their heads like really short, like the hair really short, getting all these piercings and tattoos, I guarantee you, like, that's why it's like looking at these people like, you're a poser. Like, you would have not done that when I was growing up, because you would have been one of the first, you know what I mean? And they want to be, when it's cool, when it's trendy, when other people are doing it. Oh, it's cool to like sleep around with people. Like, I don't have to worry about that stigma of looking like a hoe or whatever, and it's like, dressing like one, and it's hard. And then like when you're in a relationship with somebody and they have social media, and somebody with a prominent following could like come along at any time and see them. Maybe they're in town or somewhere close, maybe they're just using like a dating app. Maybe they're on a dating app too. Like, and you're having to compete with other people. Maybe not. Maybe they're just on Instagram. You know what I mean? And then somebody's just like looking at Instagram, seeing who's around the area they're gonna be, and try to find somebody to hook up with or whatever. And they're like, "Oh wow, you have 500,000 followers. Yes, I'm going to definitely hang out with you." And it's like somebody like me, or like somebody with no social media following. Maybe you got like 300 at the top of all your social media. You only got like 300 followers or something. So yeah, I can't compete with that status. I don't have no status, man. And yeah, it's really, and women can't trust men, and it's just like the whole dynamic is just. So anyway, like I was basically saying is, the reason why I started smoking weed again is just because of depression, and like it brought me a little bit of joy in life, you know. So sometimes I do incorporate fasting with it, so it helps me fast. I know it sounds weird because you get the munchies or whatever, but it's kind of like, well, I want to get high. Like, it's just something that keeps things not so boring. So, but yeah, it's like, if I don't have access to women, then it's boring. Like what's the point of living? You know what I mean? It's like, what's the point of my existence? Because like, look how much songs I made. And by the way, I decided to go ahead and pay the yearly royalties, not the royalties, just pay the fee that the record distribution company to keep my music all on. I mean, I just don't want to like. So for right now, I make money off of it. You know what I mean? Like I made like $11 off my music. I don't know who's listening to it. A lot of it's meta, but it's kind of cool. It's like the cover songs that I've done that seem like people are listening to. I don't know. Like Meta's paying me, but it's like as long as I'm making money off of it, you know, I don't care if I got to pay a $20 yearly fee or whatever, and I keep 100% of the royalties. It's kind of weird, like why they did that. I would have figured like if they would have kept it where, if they would have like, if they would have put my like marketed my music, put me in different algorithms, there might be more people listening to it, and they get a big percentage of the royalties, so they might have made more money. I think I might be making more money just by paying them $20 a month. I mean a year. And I wasn't going to. I was like, because they were at first they were like, oh okay, you know, we're gonna take all your music down for Spotify, and they did. They took it all down, and YouTube, and they left it up on like Facebook. But they said if I don't do, you know, even though my music's generating some money and they're getting a little bit off of it, it's kind of weird. It's like if my music, if they would have got like 10 or 20% off of my royalties or whatever, and let's say I make, I don't know, well, I guess it makes sense, because if I'm only making like $11 a month, that's $120. So, you know, I mean, they can make a little bit more. I mean, $20. I guess they just want to make sure that they're guaranteed income. I don't know. Because yeah, my music could stop being played, and if that does happen, then I'm definitely not. There's no point for me to. If nobody's listening to my music and it's not making me money, and I mean, it's cool having my albums up, but I mean, honestly, on the other record label, I could just re-release everything. I just don't feel like it. I mean, I might, you know, but we'll see. We'll see if they put my music back up. You know, I only paid $20, and they have another one that's for like $60. That's what I was doing. But it's like if they put my music back up on Spotify, I don't mind paying, as long as I'm, you know, generating some money or whatever. It's like passive income. You know, maybe it shuts down, but maybe it gains traction. You know what I mean? And that's what I would think if I was doing something like a distributing company. I would want to work. I would try to find another company that does like marketing, that could try to market my music and put it in different algorithms, and I'll just like pay for the service or whatever, like a cheap service, you know what I mean, like $20 a year, or even if it's like $100 a year, you know what I mean. But they get your music out there in different playlists or whatever. Maybe they already have that. Maybe I just have to look that up. Because we do the promotion things, and it just kind of seems like, unless there's stuff I don't know about, it's like you have to do a lot of self-promotion, and I don't have the clout for that. And one of my songs, Let's Go Brandon, one of my I firmly believe what I did is I put it in the algorithm. So what I did, and it probably worked. So I just played the song a bunch of times myself, and sometimes I listen to my own music, you know what I mean. I like the songs that I've made, or sometimes I'll listen to it. But like that song it generated like a bunch of the views. I just made it myself, so it was like 22,000 views. That was for me, or listens. This song might have had 30,000 views, but if I didn't do that, it wouldn't have had 30,000. It would have had the extra 10,000 listens or whatever. You know what I mean? So like I kind of did, I guess, you know, bump it up by like listening to it myself. You got to listen to the song for like 30 seconds. I was trying to release like songs for only like 30 seconds, but the record company wouldn't let me do it. Now I'm wondering if DistroKid will let me do it. So yeah, like with the whole weed thing, yeah, like you know, okay, when Christmas comes around, you know, I don't like to drink, so I might like take a gummy or a vape or something like that, you know, just to enjoy the holidays or whatever. But like I don't need to be doing it all the time. I need to focus more on health. I need definitely health and nutrition, man. I haven't been motivated. I need to start working out more. And I've been doing push-ups. Like I've been pretty consistent with my push-ups of doing like at least 100 push-ups a day. I'm up to like doing 30 in a row now, you know, so I think that's pretty good. At some point I'll probably get up into like the 50, just bust it out real quick if I have to, 50 push-ups. I think I could do about 40 in a row. So that's pretty good. But I'll be trying to work out harder. I just haven't been inspired, you know what I mean? I haven't had a lot of women in my life that has generated inspiration. And like the way dating is, it's like they all live far away, but it's just kind of like, to me, yeah, somebody I can't see right now all the time, but maybe it's good to try to like get some type of connections, and especially when like the cabin has been bare. You know, I've kept it bare on purpose. I haven't been trying to meet anybody new. I haven't been really talking to anybody. I haven't been trying to date. So, you know, I need to definitely, like all the women that I've talked to, they're good to go. Like they haven't really hit me up, and you know, the ones that I've hit up haven't responded. So it's like, okay, I guess I gotta find some new potential. See what happens. You know what I mean? My mindset is like, I'm not really trying to hook up. You know what I mean? Like I definitely have it. You know, like it's appealing to me. But at the end of the day, it's like I just kind of want one person where I can build something. You know, like, dude, I'm 45. You know what I mean? So if I live a long time, you know, the next 30 years, I've lived enough of my life without a woman. I would like to have a woman in pretty soon. You know what I mean? If that makes me a simp, yeah, it's like being in prison, not having access to women, and it's not just the physical. It's like, you know, somebody to do things with and share things with and try new things with and new experiences, and not have to do everything by yourself. You know what I mean? So, but it's hard dating out here, considering, like, you know, the left. I see so many profiles, not a lot, but they show themselves as like, if you're a Trump supporter, if you're not a radical leftist, then like swipe left. Okay, whatever, you know. So, but a lot of people don't talk about politics on there. You know, it's not really, they don't really put it in there. So, and for me, like politics, it's like, I don't care. Like, I just want a great country. I want us to be strong so we can help out other countries. My main goal is just to help out countries all around us, because like they surround us. It'd be nice to have strong neighbors as well. So, you know, like going to Mexico would be cool, not have to worry about being kidnapped. You know, oh, I can only stay on the reservation, the what is it? Not the vacation, the resort. I can only stay in the resort, or if I go anywhere else in Mexico, I can be kidnapped. I just don't want to deal with that shit. So it would be nice if it was like El Salvador, man. We just make all these places prosperous, strong, economically strong, not poor, so people want to stay in the country that they're in, and you know, come here the right way if they do come here. So I might be, somebody basically challenged me to a debate and said he wants to do it on Spaces, so I have to get back to him. So like basically with Spaces, I don't use it too much. Spaces is absolutely amazing technology. I would listen to Spaces all the time if it didn't make my phone like completely hot and drain the battery, but it just does that. So it's like, so I usually just listen to podcasts on YouTube or whatever. But yeah, he wants to debate about Israel, how it's great we support them and they're our greatest ally. And I'm going to be arguing against that and against foreign aid and giving them money and them being our greatest ally. I'm going to argue against that. Basically, I made a post. I said, vote for me for president 2028 and I'll tell Israel to go fuck itself. So this guy wants to. So basically, like, I'm going to tell him, now, if I set up the debate, if I have to set up the Spaces, like, there's not going to be, I'm not going to have other people chime in, you know, so, like, if he hosts it, I can pop in, we can have our little debate for, you know, 10, 20 minutes or whatever, and then he can keep hosting it, and then, you know, growing his channel, because it sounds like somebody we probably have a lot, he's, like, following me, he's a conservative, and they just sound like they're like a Zionist, you know what I mean, like a Zionist sellout. So maybe they're brainwashed still. I don't know. It sounds like he knows a lot about geopolitics, and I know a little bit. I keep track a little bit, but I don't sit there and memorize all the data and know all the talking points. And I know some, you know what I mean. Kind of like a generalist, but I don't go into extreme depth about things. And I just basically, and for America, I don't want us to be completely isolated. We need to have trade partners and allies and stuff like that, but we need to worry about our own self first, you know what I mean? So yeah, but you know, just, you know, we'll see what happens. I gotta respond to him and see what he wants to do. But yeah, it just totally makes my phone like really, really hot. And I don't want to catch on fire or something. I don't know. I don't like when my phones get really hot like that. You know, like if you listen to something that's charging, gets really hot. I don't like that. A lot of radiation could start a fire. You know, I don't want to deal with that. So yeah, I've been kind of depressed. Like I've been kind of depressed. So that's why I went back to like smoking weed, because it's like I'm not really progressing anywhere financially. I'm not progressing relationship wise. I'm not progressing social media wise. I'm not getting anywhere. Everything is pretty much the same old. You know, censorship, blah blah blah. Can't get anywhere. Stuck in the same place. Haven't really been inspired to work out, or just, you know, I'm just trying to maintain, you know, but I would like to get back hardcore into, you know, focusing on my body and getting into excellent shape. You know, I've been doing a little bit of sprints here and there in my basement, and obviously the push-ups. But yeah, I haven't had the money to go to a gym or anything like that, so I have to really watch my money. And then it's just like some like external circumstances kind of really put me in a funk, and it's like, damn, man, like I'm really like if you listen to the song Mr. Self-Destruct by Nine Inch Nails, I'm a lot like that. Like I sabotage myself. Like I will self-destruct. I shut down. It's just like in social situations, I'll shut down. Like, so I definitely do a lot of self-destruction, and it's hard to, and I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying not to do self-destruction. So I'm in a good spot. I have a good job. I don't want to lose this job. So like, I definitely don't want to do anything to, even though it's legal here, even though marijuana is legal, but you know, it just you know, it kind of makes me lazy, man. And I still want as long as I see like hope for like progression in something, in some type of area, you know, whether it's a romantic partnership with somebody, or finances, you know, like if, you know, crypto's pretty much just been stagnant, you know, it's kind of been like, the economy's been like, what's gonna happen, you know, and a lot of people are black-pilled right now, and a lot of threat of civil war, you know, and a lot of unstableness, you know, you got people being killed because of their beliefs. There's a lot of racial tension nowadays, a lot of tension between the men and women. I don't feel like I can approach any women in person. I'm sorry, I just don't feel like it. They don't make themselves available, man. They don't seem like they want to be talked to. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really that difficult to want to, but they're just not interested in a man like me, because in person anyway. Like on the dating sites, I can definitely, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm intimidating or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm intimidating. Maybe they're just like intimidated by me, because like I would always see women just look down when they were walking past me. Maybe they're just intimidated, especially young women. So I'm just like, and besides, like, this is why I like women my own age. I don't have to worry about like them being too young or something. I don't want to end up trying to talk to someone that's like, dude, I'd rather just date someone around my age. I mean, this is the reason why. And I know these red pill girls, oh, you gotta date young women. It's like, I'm not trying to start a family, dude. Like, if I was trying to start a family and I was well off financially, yeah, you know what I mean? But I feel like I would just waste their time, because I don't want kids and I can't have kids. So I don't want to waste somebody's time. Maybe she can, you know, even when I was dating, you know, a woman would have like a couple years left and she doesn't have any kids, and it's like, I don't want to waste your time. She's wasted enough of her own time, you know, but I don't want to contribute to that. So, not excusing the degeneracy I went through, or could possibly happen again, you know. Maybe I become degenerate again. Trying not to, but reason that's why I started, getting high. When I lost my job, I held out a while. I think I lost my job around January 15th or something like that. And, I was like, excited, the Trump's inauguration, and I wasn't excited about losing my job, but I didn't even start smoking weed again until probably like the 7th of March. Yeah. And then I just went ham for like a couple weeks in March. Like I would just smoke all the time until the last couple of weeks until the end. And it's like, okay, then I'm gonna take April off and no more smoking weed, so I can get a job really easy when I get here in Missouri. So, but if we had a lot of jobs, that'd be one thing. But it's a scarcity, and I'm just trying to get through whatever this is, and hopefully things are better in the future. I don't know, like maybe not. The way I think is like physical jobs are probably going to be okay, but like the jobs that you require like computer stuff, all this, you just probably just use AI agents to do stuff. It's just going to get better and better. You know what I mean? And you're going to see more and more companies use it, and they won't need the people and to do the soft jobs anymore because they got AI. There's, why pay this person $100,000 a year when you can just like pay for this $200 subscription to AI agents or whatever? You know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll see what happens. It's just kind of like, I just think that going to college right now is a bad idea unless it's it's a full ride, or you're going to a place you're really strong, you're not going to get indoctrinated by their bullshit. It's just kind of like, why do I need to take this stupid fucking class? And that would suck to go to college and come out with a student loan debt that you can't write off, and then don't have that job that you trained for because it doesn't exist anymore. How shitty would that be? And you might see a lot of that. So yeah, if I had a soft office job right now, I'd be kind of concerned. I think management might be okay, like especially like supervisors, but mid-management and data entry and data collection, all this, and you could just have a person use AI and just do like 3 people's jobs. You know what I mean? If I wanted to, I could do a lot of different jobs with AI and just take people, take their jobs. But we're getting there. That's what I'm saying. Maybe we're in the early stages. It's just like crypto. It's still a baby. We're still. It's so crazy to me. Like, think about it. If we have the goal that we're saying, I forgot how much we're supposed to have. All these other countries are collecting gold right now. They're buying up gold. They're not buying Bitcoin. They're not buying crypto. They're not investing in blockchain technology like they should be. At least some. Well, if we was to sell the gold we have, if half, if not all, if we was to sell like all of it and put it all in the market, that would destroy the value of gold. It would just automatically devastate people. It would totally devalue the investment. So they would be really fucking pissed off at us. And then we take that money that we sold our gold with, and then we bought Bitcoin and crypto. So it's just kind of like, have fun with the old system, and then like there would be a lot of the people would FOMO in, so the price would jump. I don't know how much it would jump, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, I don't know, but it would jump up pretty quickly within like a week. And then when everyone started FOMOing in, trying to buy up the assets, it becomes They're small. You won't be able to buy as much assets because there's not much on the market. Now you will have people that sell for sure. You know, that are just sitting and they're getting rich. They've been holding it, and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna take some wins here because I need to upgrade my life. You know, these people are like multi-millionaires now. You know, like. So they're like, yeah, I definitely have to sell some of this off, and I definitely want to buy some hard assets. But the FOMO would be crazy because it wouldn't just be other countries; it would be the private sector as well. It would be retail, it would be everything. Everyone would FOMO in, man, and that just exacerbates the problem even further, creating more of a supply shock, making the price jump. So, you know, BlackRock's, they said this cycle, they said it could go up, they think it could go up to $700,000. You know, I haven't really been paying attention recently, but like for a few months that I was watching, like every single day they were just buying up more. They would buy up Ethereum, they would buy up Bitcoin. And I haven't really been paying attention, so but yeah, you know, that definitely could affect the price big time, and it would piss a lot of but it's like they should have invested in Bitcoin too, you know what I mean? And I think Russ has been trading in Bitcoin. So, and it's kind of like, what is BRICS gonna use? You know, is BRICS gonna, like, don't they want to use some type of currency or something like that? Some type of back currency? It's kind of weird how they haven't came out with a currency yet. It's like backed by gold or something, I don't know. So we can invest in, so, but, I don't know. They're trying to push out like a centralized. I like Bitcoin because it's decentralized, you know. So you want it to be as decentralized as possible. You don't want like one entity owning like a ton of Bitcoin. You know, you want like everybody to own Bitcoin. The more people that own Bitcoin, the better. That's in my opinion. That makes it more and more decentralized. So, you know, we'll see. I've just been like. That's why I started smoking weed, and like, you know, I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting to feel a little bit more inspired, optimistic. So I should definitely take my health under way better consideration, and yeah, you know, so weed's a fun thing, you know. I plan on doing it when I get to be older, so. But for me, I definitely still need to be building at this point. And, you know, with the economy the way it is, I definitely want to keep this job for another year at least. But if I wanted to, I'd get the marijuana card and the medical marijuana card. And I wouldn't even have to worry about it. You know what I mean? So, but it's just kind of like, I don't want the medical marijuana card, you know? It's just kind of like, I like it every so often. It's like, yeah, like when the holidays are here, I'm just gonna, it chills me out. Like, oh my God, it chills me out. Like, man. During downtime, I'm like chilled out. But yeah, it makes things more interesting. It makes video games more interesting. TV shows, you know, watching TV shows to me by myself is just like, I don't really like to watch movies or TV shows by myself. But if I have somebody I'm watching them with, that's different. I'm just doing it by myself. So, like I said, I've been recently inspired again, and I really don't have any reason to continue smoking weed. You know, like I said, maybe I won't though. Maybe I'll have some drinks over the holidays. Maybe I'll loosen things up a little bit and say some shit that's fucked up. Maybe I'll do that instead. if I don't have to drive, I don't give a fuck. But yeah, but you know, there's still the stigma with weed, so definitely, you know, I've taught, you know, that's what's been going on. It's not something that like it's something I liked to do when I was younger, you know. It just, I have too much to lose too at this point, you know. Like I said, later on in life, when there isn't, when it's more decriminalized or whatever, if it gets to be, it should be. And companies, maybe I work for myself, maybe I have enough passive income, I don't have to worry about funding my life. Maybe my music pays for my life. That would be cool as hell, by the way, if my music just paid for me to, my basic bills. That would be awesome. I didn't even have to have a job. Like for my basic bills, $3,000 a month. That would do, man. That would do. So it doesn't take a lot for me. I don't need like a high class lifestyle, and that's why I kind of like these leftist women that are kind of like mystique, kind of like whimsical type of women. Man, there's this woman. She had like full gray hair, long hair, and she was like my age. She looked really pretty. And I was at the park. I was in Michigan, and I actually have her on this channel. Like, she stopped and talked to me. I'm like, oh. And I don't know how I found her. I found her on Facebook. I don't know how I did. And then she told me her name. I just like fucking scoured Facebook trying to look for anyone that had the same. And I found her, and like I tried to get her to go out. And it's kind of weird, you know what I mean? If I would have asked her then and there for her fucking, which I should have. But I kind of was like, hey, how's it? You know, trying to keep the conversation going. But she kept kind of riding off something. She didn't see, you know. It's not like she was stopping and talking. You know what I mean? But yeah, she seemed like kind of like whimsical type of free spirit. I like that type of woman. But I don't like the whole death cult leftist shit. You know, and a lot of them believe in that. And if they can be, you know, critical thinking, and I've met women that are critical thinkers, you know, and they're not into that leftist cult bullshit, and they're free-spirited type of women. They're absolutely awesome, really intelligent. And it sucks that it has to be like that nowadays with the politics and whatever, but yeah, it's depressing. Like, there's a lot of isolation nowadays, and I would like to have some, like a girlfriend. I don't need like a harem, which would be cool, but it's just too much work, man. I don't want to. You know how much time I like to spend by myself. I don't have the time dedicated for a fucking harem of women, trying to keep them in line. I'm in no position for that anyway. So yeah, but it's just, dude, it is like, these employers need to understand, like, this life is so fucking boring. Like, seriously, man. Like, they need to let off the weed shit, though, you know. They don't need to worry, like, if, like, the state I live in is completely illegal. So, you know, people at work, like, as long as you don't do it at work, who gives a shit, you know what I mean? So I go to, so when I get off at work, I go home. You know, if I was to keep smoking, which I'm not, oh my goodness, I got to the next 2 days off. Sometimes I get the next 3 days off. I'm not going to be at work for 2 days. Like, why can't I get? So they'd rather let me get drunk, you know. But I'm fine not doing anything. I'm fine being sober. Like, as long as things are going good in my life financially, definitely when it comes to like having a woman in my life, I can be sober. But if I don't get anything, you know, it's like, dude, the job I work, I appreciate the job I have, but it's like, dude, Is it something that I thought of I would want to do when I was a kid? No. Am I doing it just because it funds my life? Yes. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm excited I get to go to work. I'm not, for the next 12 hours, and then I can turn around and drive an hour home. I'm doing it to survive, so. And I don't get paid a ton of money. I get paid enough to survive. If I was getting paid a ton of money, $30 an hour or something, that'd be cool. But I think it's enough. But it would definitely be a lot nicer if, which in this society, it's completely different than it was when I could definitely move to another state, and them being more cool with the marijuana thing. But at this point, I'm gonna see how things go the next couple of years, and hopefully things get better. You know what I mean? I don't know what's gonna happen. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, we need a damn. We all need, what is that? Not a niche, but some people like to smoke cigars. A vice. We need a vice nowadays. That's why you see so many people that are overweight, because that's their vice, is overeating, indulging. I've been guilty of that as well. So it's hard to be like completely straight-laced, sober. What are you doing, dude? And then like not get any pussy on top of that, and I have to go work a job. It's okay, I appreciate it, but it's not something that I'm excited to learn and do. And I mean, if I was making like $30 an hour, oops. But it's but I definitely appreciate it, because there's not a lot of other jobs out here. You know what I mean? And it's kind of scary, What if the company goes under and I gotta find something else and I can't find another job? But we'll see, But yeah, that's all I have.